Yep.
Okay. We're good to go, right? Okay, let's just start off. If it's okay? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, thank you, Bangalore Marathi Welfare Association, for inviting us for this particular talk. Now, I know it's late. Hello?
2 minutes.
Sure. Okay. I can wait 2 minutes. No issues.
Start with few words about Bangalore Marathi, and then you can continue with this.
Sure.
Sure.
नमस्कार मंडळी. बँगलोर मराठी वेलफेअर असोसिएशन तर्फे नॉलेज सिरीज मध्ये तुमचं पुन्हा एकदा स्वागत. 2020 हे वर्ष या वर्षाने आपला खूप काही अनुभव दिला, खूप नव्या गोष्टी शिकायला मिळाल्या, काही प्रमाणात आपलं आयुष्य पूर्णपणे बदलून टाकलं. या वर्षात सुद्धा नेहमीप्रमाणे दरवर्षीप्रमाणेच बँगलोर मराठीने भरपूर उपक्रम राबवले आणि ज्यावेळेस वेगळ्या पद्धतीने राबवले, बरेच आपण ऑनलाईन सेशन घेतले, त्या बाकीच्या ऍक्टिव्हिटीज होत्या तशाच यावर्षी केल्या आपण. यंदा दिवाळीमध्ये आपण बँगलोर मराठीचा पहिल्यांदाच बँगलोर मधला मराठी दिवाळी अंक आणला आणि तो आतापर्यंत लोकांना पोहोचलेला आहे. सगळ्यांनी त्याचं कौतुक पण केलंय. याच्या व्यतिरिक्त एक आपण गोष्ट करतो दरवर्षी, ती म्हणजे बँगलोर मराठीचं मराठी दर्शन यावर्षी सुद्धा आपण छापलेली आहे आणि आय थिंक बऱ्यापैकी मिळालेली आहे किंवा या आठवड्याभरात मिळेल सुद्धा. दिनदर्शिका छापण्यामागचं असतं की पुढल्या वर्षी ज्या काही तारखा आहेत आपल्याला काय करायचं. जवळपास प्रत्येकाच एक ते न्यू इयर रिझोल्युशन असतं. मला एक गोष्ट सुरू करायची आहे 1 जानेवारीपासून, ती म्हणजे व्यायाम. तो 1 जानेवारीपासून मी मॉर्निंग वॉकला जाणार किंवा मी योगा करणार किंवा मी कुठेतरी जिम जॉईन करणार. तर ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टी आपल्यापैकी बरेच जण करत असतात. त्यातलं काही जण ते कंटिन्यू करतात, काही जणांचं होत नाही. म्हणूनच त्या अनुषंगाने आजचं आपण हे सेशन आयोजित केलं आहे. रिथिंकिंग हेल्थ अँड फिटनेस, आरोग्य आणि तंदुरुस्ती हा वेगळा दृष्टिकोन आज आपला या आणि आज स्पीकर म्हणून लाभलेले आहेत सोनाली साहू आणि सुजय मंडल. सो मी विनंती करतो गौरव गोयल यांना की त्यांनी थोडक्यात इंट्रोडक्शन द्यावं सुजय आणि सोनाली यांचं, आणि तिथून पुढे ते कंटिन्यू करतील. गौरव, over to you.
Hello everyone. Am I audible, Naren?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Hello everyone. Thank you, Naren, and thank you, Bangalore Marathi Welfare Group. First of all, thanks to Sujoy and Sonali for accepting the invite and guiding us on this right path for health and fitness. And I think so your session will definitely tell a lot about how to control our body and mind. And this is what I have learned in last 1 year. My way of thinking for fitness was very different, and I think so you have got me into the right logical path. Under your training, it was fantastic. So to start off with, Sujoy, by profession, he is an engineer from IIT Kharagpur, completed his management degree from IIM Bangalore, and by passion, he is a physical fitness trainer. He is a certified coach, nutritionist. Talking about Sonali, she is also an engineer, electronics engineer. By passion, again, she is a coach, fitness coach. She is also certified nutritionist, and both of them are marathon runners. And I think so. Sonali has been doing marathons for last 8 years, if I'm not wrong, 7 or 8 years. And same goes with
Last 5 years.
Same goes with Sujoy.
It's been running for 8 years.
Yeah, that's so I this is what I would like to add. Like my definition towards fitness has changed because of these two people on the screen today. Today, the way I think about fitness is completely different, and I think so they have taken me back to roots to think about what I was doing for last couple of years to get my body back into shape. I hand it over to Sujoy and Sonali and take it from here.
Thanks, Gaurav. Is there a way that you can put spotlight or pin me on this thing so that people can see me as I'm talking?
Just check.
Yeah. Can you guys see me? Yeah, put a spotlight. If it's difficult, that's okay. I can still go ahead and talk. Okay. While you guys, work on it, let me start off. So, thank you, Bangalore Marathi Welfare Association, for inviting us for this particular session. Uh, the introduction is already done, but we will also let you guys know that we also have a very strong connection with Maharashtra. I lived a good amount of my early life in Kolaba, of all the places, the beautiful Kolaba in Bombay. Even Sonali also lived in Kolaba. She did her graduation from Thadumal Shani in Mumbai. My sister is, settled in Bombay, so that's the connection that we have from Maharashtra. Moving on from our introduction, we wanted to talk a little bit about health and fitness. Now, we do understand that most of you have your own concept of health and fitness. And if I am not wrong, Gaurav, you guys had a session before this, right, on diabetes? Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, we will be talking a little bit about more, moving away from diseases and more towards something different. Okay. So to do that, what I want you to do is, if you guys can just imagine a very beautiful scenario. The beautiful scenario is that, uh, you know, it's a wonderful scenario. Are you guys able to see my screen? The images here, the PPT?
Yes.
Okay. Imagine a beautiful scenario where the pandemic, is all done and dusted, and you guys, finally go on a wonderful, long-awaited trek to the mountains, and you are, spending after a long hike, you spend a wonderful night with your partner in these tent. Something I'm sure many of you guys are wondering, and you guys stay there, and then after having the food in the night, spending the night with your partner, all cozy and everything, you're all refreshed, but you really need to go to the loo. Okay, and the the guide says, you know what, this is open space. You guys have to go out in the open space. There's this space meant for men and there's this space meant for women. Why don't you guys, do your early morning ablutions? Question to you is, how many of you can squat down in the Indian Malasan position for 1 minute? How many of you can squat and remain there for 2 minutes? How many of you can stay 5 minutes? And for God's sake, the stomach is really upset and you are forced to stay for 10 minutes. How many of you can do that?
Can you all message in the chat so that we know?
Yeah, you can message, or you can just think also about yourself. When was the last time you were able to go below your knees when you want to squat? Okay. Now just, you can either message or you can keep the thought to yourself. Now, this is a wonderful scenario, because this is where we are talking about a good scenario. You're in the mountains, everything, and this particular change happens. Now, let me make the scenario a little bit more tragic. So you're going from here to Bandipur, or to Coorg, okay, or to Ooty, and you're crossing via Bandipur in the night. And suddenly an accident happens. Your car hits the one of the trees in the forest in the middle of the night, and amongst all the people in the car, and these are your family members, you are the one who is conscious. How many of you can pull your family members out, do have the strength to pull your family members out and drag them to safety? Or for that matter, let's make it another scenario where you have gone out on this wonderful beach, and for God's sake, something bad happens, and one of your loved ones, I really do not want to put you in a very bad situation, is sinking, and you have to save that person. Now, why am I asking you this question? In this evening, Saturday evening, why am I asking you this question? The reason why I'm asking you this question is that things are happening. Things are happening to us. We have had good days, and we are seeing some really unexpected days. Okay, things that we never imagined, that we never thought, for that matter, many of us thought that this is not going to happen to us. You know what? We are invincible. This is not going to happen to us. But things have been happening. Flood happened in Chennai. Pandemic happened across the world. Okay. Have we ever asked ourselves this specific question that, are you healthy and fit enough to take care of yourself or your loved ones during good times and during bad times? Think about it. Look at this picture. People have walked longer distances with carrying babies in their hand, their stuff. Flood has happened, and we are all right now healthy in our safe haven spaces because we are in our, say, 35 to 55 age range. We are still good. But have you thought about another 20 years later? Will we be in a position to take care of ourselves? Now, we can say that, yeah, life is unpredictable. Anything can happen. Yes, anything can happen, but have we improved our probabilities of surviving? Have we thought about focusing on things that we control? Now, keeping these things in mind, let me give you a quick, simple, very simple definition of health versus fitness. Health is what we talked about, or what you guys heard in your previous session, the absence of disease and little bit better. Okay, where we are looking at all your internal biomarkers, your blood, your urine test, your X-ray, ECG. Are you devoid of health? Okay, but fitness is a little bit different because here we are asking a specific question: fit for a purpose, fit to perform something. Are you fit enough to play cricket for 2 hours? Are you fit enough to run a 5K? Or if you're fit enough to run a 5K, are you fit enough to run a 10K? So understand the difference between health and fitness. We today will be focusing on fitness. Why do we need to even focus on fitness? We need to be focusing on fitness because, as I said in the previous question, are you in a position to take care of yourself now in good times? In bad times, the bad times can happen now, or it can happen 20, 30 years later when we are going to get old. And are you healthy and fit enough to take care of your loved one? The loved ones can be your spouse, can be your kids, can be your parents during good times and during bad times. So let me expand a little bit more. Okay. Now, this whole component of fitness has 4 major parts. Now I'm going to explain it to you. Of course, you might be having your own version. So please, as of now, just go with the flow, go with me. We call it, now in Mindside Nutrition, we call it the 4 wheels of a car. The first one is your physical movement or physical training. Second one is nutrition. Third is recovery and rest. And fourth is your ability to manage your mental, emotional well-being, which in short, you can say as stress management. Now, we call it the 4 wheels of a car because if any wheel is misaligned, it's going to impact your whole car and it's also going to impact your other wheels. Okay, if one of the wheels is misaligned, the car is going to move to one side, there's going to be wear and tear. You get the point. Which means that if your nutrition is bad, it's going to impact your physical training, it's going to impact your stress management, it's going to impact your recovery. Similarly, if your recovery is bad, it's going to impact the other 3. Okay, for us to be much more better, okay, imagine that your body is a car, because people, they do not understand their body so much, but they understand their car. So we are going to use this analogy of a car a little bit more going forward. Okay, if your body, thanks to the genetic lottery that you have given, it might be a Swift, or it might be a Toyota Fortuner, and if you are lucky enough, it might be a Ferrari. But all of this are dependent on a whole bunch of things that are working inside of you. First and foremost are your engine and definitely your wheels. So what do we do with the car that we have? Do we throw it out? No, we have to take care of it. What do? We do periodic checkup. Okay, we have to ensure that the wheels are aligned. And just because one of the wheel is misaligned, we do not go ahead and slash all the tires. We don't do that. However, if you have seen people, what they do is, ah, I just had a whole bunch of pizza. Forget about it. I'm going to have a little bit more. I'm just going to stay up late in the night. My whole resolution is gone. Let me just slash all the other tires also. We end up doing that to ourselves, but we do not do that to the car. Having said that, let's talk a little bit about what are the options that are available for all of these four wheels. The first and foremost that we talked about is movement. Now, before I go there, can you guys identify who's the character here and the event that happened here? And can you guys identify who are these two people here? Okay, if you guys are putting it in the chat, can you guys give some examples if you guys know? Any guesses?
I don't know their name, but this is the couple who's been going on tour for quite long.
Exactly right. Guess the other
They're
guy.
from,
Yes, Kerala.
if I'm not wrong.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the
No, I
answer.
said like I've seen this couple on the TV.
Yeah. Yes. And the guys, oh yeah, somebody said the king of Saudi. Exactly right. Now, can you tell me what incident happened here? Can anybody guess what was the incident that happened here? Okay. Okay, close enough, close enough, close enough. Yes, Swapnil, good, close enough. So this is the king of Saudi. He lands up in Indonesia on one of his trips, and he's one of the richest man on this planet. So to bring him down, they have a golden escalator. He was trying to get down, and what happened was while he was coming down, the escalator stopped. He fell down definitely, but then the escalator would not move. He could not go up, he could not come down, and he could not be carried because he didn't want to look like a sorry figure in front of the whole world media that he's being carried. Okay, one of the richest man on the planet cannot move, and here we have two, with respect to us, relatively poor couple. Okay, chaiwala, saving their money, traveling across the world. They are able to move. Now let us look at ourselves. We are all good. But during the early stages of pandemic, we were not able to move from our apartment complexes. Okay. And the same stuff happened to everybody, from the poor to the richest of the rich. What it gave us a glimpse is that our quality of life is dependent on our movement. Okay. That's why people are put in jail so that they cannot be moving. Of course, they should not be out in the society, but imagine the impact that it has on us. So why are we talking so much about movement? What exactly is this movement, and why should we need to focus on? For that matter, if we have to focus on, one of the first thing that comes into everybody's head is that which is the best exercise that I'm going to get to help me to be better. Now, what we have seen is that most of the people have a short-term focus. Okay, they might be in this current state where they might not be in the best of their health with all the stresses and everything, but everybody has a dream. Short-term dream is to have six-pack abs and to look really nice and sexy. But what they do not think about is the long-term focus. Are we focusing that are we in a position to do our daily stuff, to do some good stuff like, trekking, hiking, playing with our kids, and sometimes even doing something which is very much needed during the bad times, during accidents, during pandemics, during floods, during some natural disaster. Have we thought about it? Okay. Have we thought about how we are going to use our body during our first half? When I say first half, I'm talking about around 40 minus. And have we thought about ourselves, how we are going to manage ourselves in our next half, which is 40 to 80, even 100? Now, please know that thanks to the medical advances, we are going to be living a lot longer. Somehow we will be getting all these injections and medical procedures that will help us to move and live for long. The only challenge is that will we be living a life which is good? Now, having said that, I'm sure you guys are able to recognize some of the faces here. Okay. Do you guys know who these two people are? Can you guys put it on the chat on the left-hand side? Are you guys able to see?
That's Rishi Kapoor.
Yes. Yeah. There's Meenakshi Seshadri.
I don't know.
Yeah. Now look at them. Almost the same age. Look at the difference. Okay. Now I just wanted to give an example here. Okay. And I also wanted to give an example here. Do any people know who are these two characters here? Okay. This is going to be an interesting this. Okay. On the right hand side, there's this gentleman here, a very, yes, awesome, BKS Iyengar, correct. And who is the man on the right? And what is claim to fame? What is BK Iyengar's claim to fame?
Come on, guys. BK Iyengar is famous for what?
Yoga.
Yes.
Yes, he's a yoga expert, and to make even more stuff interesting, NASA even named a star after him because of the influence that he put on the Western, right now, of course, the whole world with his yoga. Okay, and can you guess till what age he lived?
90 plus.
Absolutely right, 90 plus. And here we have stars who could not even cross 80. And look at their health. They were not even able to move from their chairs. What's the quality of life? What about this guy on the right-hand side? Does anybody know who's this? Any guesses?
No.
Clue is in the pose that he's making.
Yes. Clue is in the pose. Okay, I'm not gonna give you guys much time to think. His name is Manohar Aich. He's India's first Mr. Universe bodybuilder. And can you guess till what age he lived? He lived till 103, some people even say 104. Okay, and he lived till the last day he would move around, okay, on his own, taking hold of his great grandson's hand and moving across to the market to get fish. Okay, now this is what I'm talking about, the ability to live long and lived crammed up in a bed, or the ability to live long and live a life full of dignity, the ability to move around and live a healthy life. Now, why am I talking about all this stuff? Because it has a huge impact, okay? And this relates to our second set of questions saying that, okay, I want to live a good life, okay? But what do I do? What should I follow? Whom should I follow? Now, look at these things, okay? What we end up doing is we end up following these guys, which is so far so good, okay? But we never think about, okay, and for when you look at these stars that we follow, we discredit a whole bunch of stuff. These guys have everything, whereas people in the army do not have literally anything. They have to work with the most basic stuff and be in a position to take care of themselves and take care of others. Okay, and these are the guys those who are healthy till they are 70, 80. Okay, so what do we need to focus on then? Which is the best exercise? When we talk about the best exercise, let's learn from the army itself. Okay, if you look at the army, what they do is that they do a little bit of strength training, a little bit of running, which is stamina, a little bit of stretching, moving here and there, and of course some runs. Okay, but why are they doing all this stuff? They're able to do that because they can take care of themselves with the most basic of all stuff. Now, many of us say that, hey, you know what, I work too much. There's a lot of chores, okay, which is a non-intentional movement. And if that is more for you, nothing like it, good. But sometimes we need to move out of our comfort zone. We need to focus on intentional movement. Some of us go to the gym and do workout, okay, कुछ भी कर लिया. चलो आज जाके हम लोगों ने डांस कर लिया, ओके, और हम लोगों ने एक योगा कर लिया, या हम लोगों ने कुछ वेट्स लिफ्ट कर दिया. Okay, but there is no program, there is no intentional movement with the intentional training to improve your some specific aspects. Okay, now that is from a training perspective. Of course, there are the other non-games. Thankfully, right now yoga is becoming a game. Okay, sorry, it's becoming a game, it's becoming a sport in India. Okay, but there are a whole bunch of non-games stuff that we can think about, like endurance running, bodybuilding, powerlifting. They are non-games. You do not, make rules and all that stuff around this. And there are games, kabaddi, kho-kho, cricket. These are games which whole bunch of rules, people playing, having fun. Okay. Now putting it all together, if we look at the army, they do all this stuff. Chota, chota, thoda, thoda. Okay. They lift weight, either their bags or their partners. They run or they swim, and many of these guys play in the evening so that they get all these benefits till the time they kick the bucket. Okay, now in all of this, what we will see is that there's a huge focus on strength. Okay, and when we are looking at this, the first thing that they tell themselves is that, hey, you know what, we need to be strong first. We also should be in a position to take care of ourselves, and in the process we should be in a position to have fun. Now, why do we need to be strong, man? Why the hell do we need to be strong? We need to be strong because when we are born, the first thing that we need is the strength to open our eyelids, strength to turn our body. And then when we will become old, 80 years old, 90 years old, we would need strength to just even get up from the bed. Strength to walk to the loo, strength to squat down, and then strength to stand up. But what we have ended up doing is that we are just focusing on cardio, 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 but not focusing on strength. Look at the army. Okay, they will use anything and everything that is possible to improve their strength. Lots of push-ups, lots of carries. Okay, you have everything at your disposal. You are not bound by anything. Just use your imagination to improve your strength. Even to run, you need strength. Even to dance, you need strength. So first, strength first. Once you have this strength, let's look at the way we can take care of ourselves. Okay, swim a little because this is a skill. Run a little so that in case somebody is stuck, you should have the healthy heart and the cardio to pick that person up and walk, or drag that person, or take care of that person over a long distances. Look at what happened in the pandemic. People had to walk so many distances. Okay, and then you should always be in a position to carry the market se jhola, where you have all the sabzi, etc. Carry your kid, carry somebody who gets stuck in danger. So swim, run a little, and carry a load. Okay, this will not only improve your strength, but also help you to have life-saving skills. Okay, and then in this whole process, please do not forget to have fun. Okay, we need to be able to move our body in different directions. If you always keep on running in the same direction, okay, there will be places where if you just tilt, you might end up falling down. So develop those neuromuscular connection that you should be in a position to move around. Okay, have that. Now, putting it all together, simply be strong, take care, have fun. This will help you, be much more stronger in terms of movement to take care of yourself. Now, next come one of the most debated topic, which is nutrition. Nutrition is like a religion. As we say in religion, hey, my religion is better than your religion because this is what my guru has given me. Although science does not understand this, but my guru has given me this thing and I'm going to follow it, and the whole world needs to follow that. Okay, that's what nutrition is. Hey, my food is better than your food. What I follow is better than your food. Okay, the South Indian food is better than North Indian food, or the North Indian says North Indian food is better than the South Indian food, or the Indian food is better than the American food, or for that matter, the Mediterranean food is better than. Where do we go? Okay, things are becoming even more complicated with a whole bunch of stuff that is impacting our head. Okay, first and foremost, people think that these are a whole bunch of tips and tricks. Hey, can you give me some tips for fat loss? Okay, because they feel that nutrition is around those tips and tricks that's going to make things work. Hey, what are those nutrition tips to improve your endurance? What are the secrets of six-pack abs? What about those superfoods that's going to improve your sex life? And what about those hair loss prevention? Better yet, hey, what is a good diet for a normal human being? But nobody talks about a normal human being because there are a whole bunch of stuff that we need to take into consideration to talk about food. Okay, there are demographics. Are we talking about food for the male or a female? A kid versus an adult versus an elder? Okay, have you taken into consideration the lifestyle? Is the person sedentary, recreational athlete, or a professional athlete? What about the goal of that particular person? Is he doing an endurance run? Is he doing bodybuilding? Or is he trying to get six-pack abs? Or is he trying to handle his diabetes? Okay, or prevent some disease? What about personal preferences? Is he a vegetarian, non-vegetarian, vegan? Okay, is he a South Indian, North Indian, Japanese? Okay, a Jain? What about religious considerations? Is he a Hindu, Jain, etc.? And of course, there are people who want to try out different experiments, ideas, lifestyle, like vegan, intermittent fasting, keto, low carb, high fat. Of course, we also need to take care of how much amount of stress do you have currently that you can take the stress of new and additional stressors of a new diet. All of these things needs to be taken into consideration to arrive at all these answers. The tips around fat loss, the tips around improving your endurance, etc. Okay. Secondly, is that many of us end up copying stars. Okay, it can be your movie star saying that, hey, you know what? I need to get a six-pack ab like Shilpa Shetty or muscles like Amir Khan and Salman Khan. But we do not take into consideration the genetics that they have, the time and money that they have spent, the resources that they have at their disposal, the nutritionists, trainers, the stress-free environment that they are in, and of course, the motivation, the needs of the business, and the discipline. Because there are many stars, but some of these stars have the discipline to take this. Okay, many of us even copy the star athletes, saying that we will just copy the food of the star athletes without taking into consideration the discipline that they have, the time that they spend in that particular endeavor, the genetics, the training, the recovery, etc. Blindly copy. And then they say, hey, I'm following this diet, but I do not have the six-pack abs of Karina, or I do not have the strength of, say, Matt Fraser. And once they pick up a diet, there is always this rationalizing. Hey, you know what? Rich Roll is a guy who has taken a vegan food and he has done all these ultra marathon across the world. Or you also have people like the Ironman Cowboy who is taking paleo diet, and both of them are successful. And all of these people are bringing their claims through Netflix. There's so much of information that it is making us very, very tired. We do not know what those answers are. So what do we as in my insight talk about? How do we navigate this nutrition? Okay, there are a whole bunch of pros and cons around these diets. All of these diets work. All of these diets work if we are able to adhere to it for a long term. Okay, it's like I train to lift 100 kilos, but once I stop lifting for 100 kilos, okay, and I again go back to that weight after say 2 months, do you think you will be in a position to lift 100 kilos? No, we will not be. That's because we have not adhered to that program. Same goes with your diet. Any diet will work till the time you adhere to it. Okay, at the base of it is adherence. Then we are talking about calories. Okay, how much of calories? If your calories are too low, your body is gonna break down. If the calories are too high, your body is gonna accumulate lots of fat. Okay, you need to handle your macros, etc. Now, all of this are very, very complicated. How do we make it even more simpler? At the most simplest form, the advice or the tips that we give people is that, hey folks, please eat food, not what people claim to be food. Okay, eat whole food, not what people claim to be food, all these packaged materials, ultra processed materials. Okay, not too much, just enough to satisfy your hunger and not stuff yourself. We in My Insight have this phrase that do not pay to get fat and sick. What does that mean? It means that when you go for a buffet, do not try to get the best bang for the buck and stuff yourself with all the food that there is. Just enough. Otherwise, you're going to fall sick, you're going to become fat, and that's not good for you. Mostly plants. Yes, plants have power. Okay, we did not say be vegan, we are saying mostly plants. You can have your meat, you can have your fish. However, we are saying that be limited, do not cross the limits, be within limits. Have lots of plant-based food. Again, whatever you're following, make sure that you do it without guilt. Many of us eat and then they feel guilty. That's not going to be good for your long run. And all of this to suit your goal. Your goal can be fat loss, your goal can be muscle building, or your goal can be just to ensure that your kid is eating good to become stronger, become healthier. Okay? That is around nutrition. Now let's go to recovery. Let's talk about recovery. Now again, going back to nutrition itself. In this whole stuff, if you have seen, we have not taken any partisan idea about which diet is better. If you are from Maharashtra, eat your Marathi food. If you have grown in South India, eat your South Indian food. If you are from east part of India, eat your East Indian food. North Indian food. Okay, in the same family, everybody can eat the same stuff and get different goals just by changing their portion and proportion. Okay, for example, if the one of the partners wants to lose fat, they need to reduce the portions a little bit. They need to reduce the proportions of, say, the carbohydrates and the proteins and the essential fatty acids a little bit. If one of the partners wants to gain weight or gain muscles, they again need to increase the portions a little bit, change the proportions a little bit. Same food. Similarly, the kid, depending on the stage of growth that the kid is, they can have their portions and proportions aligned. You do not need to have anything specific shabang. Okay, the answer lies under your nose. You just need to figure it out. The third wheel is your recovery. Okay, why do we talk about this recovery? Let me give you an example. Say you have just bought a house, okay, and a big tornado or a hurricane or a storm comes in and breaks the house. And this is a, say, grade 1 tornado. And your house was built to withstand a grade 1 tornado. So for you to do that, the body is very smart. What it does is that when it takes these external forces like physical training or your mental training, working, all that stuff, the body will try to recover. And during the recovery, what it does is that it takes these broken walls and builds a stronger wall to withstand the next storm. Okay, now when your body is rebuilding this new wall which can withstand the grade 1, okay, if another storm comes in, it will not be able to withstand that. It's going to break down even more. What does that mean? Say you do your physical training, or for that matter, you're working late in the night, your brain is very stressed out, it is taking that stress. If you do not get a good recovery in terms of sleep or some other recovery protocol, okay, and you again put your body through that same stress, it will not be able to handle that stress. Because while the body was trying to build that strong wall, you have again subjected it. Okay, you first need to recover and build a stronger wall so that you can take the next grade 1 storm. Next time, you can subject your body to a grade 2 storm. This time, the wall will break again. The body is smart enough to again build a wall which is stronger enough to withstand grade 1 and now grade 2. And this is where recovery comes in, but most of us do not do that. Why? Because we are tied up with our Netflix, we are tied up with our Amazon Prime, we are tied up with our cell phone. We are breaking ourselves up, but we are not giving it time to recover and be stronger. Okay, there are various protocols for recovery. Up to you to figure out what you want. The first and foremost is your sleep, which contains your overall recovery. Darken your room, lower the temperature, reduce the sound, go to sleep. The best thing. Second is your physical recovery. There are a whole bunch of protocols available. Seek out, you will get it. In simple terms, a small massage, a spa care will also help you to be physically recovered. Third is your mental recovery, the ability to manage stress. Okay, without these three, the body is going to break down. Even the mental stress, the body behaves as though it is getting a physical stress. Okay, so give yourself that recovery. Protocols are available, you know it, you guys have to do it. Okay, one of the most important part of recovery is sleep. Nobody talks about it, but what people do not know is that it is a magic pill. You will lose fat, you're going to have good sex, you're going to make good decisions. Okay, you have good memory, whole bunch of stuff. But if you do not sleep well, you're going to gain fat, you're going to not have a good sexual life, you're going to make bad decisions that's going to cost you lots and lots of money, loads of accidents, road accidents, heart attacks, memory loss, irritation. The list is endless. You choose a problem, it will have a link to sleep. Okay, sleep is the best recovery tool. Okay, now when we look at the whole pyramid, there are a whole bunch of stuff that can be taken into care when it comes to recovery. Again, go to your coach if you have and talk about recovery. How do I recover? How do I recover physically? Talk to your a physician. How do I recover? Okay, what are the tools that you have? Whole bunch of tools are available. You have to start thinking. Again, this is one of your, so we talked about movement, which is your physical training, one of the wheels. We talked about nutrition. Okay, whole bunch of stuff available. You can have your own nutrition in your house, work amazing for you if you do it right. We talked about recovery so that you are able to get back up to face the next level of storm. Okay, these things are available. Finally, I'm going to talk about stress management. Okay, but before I leave, I'm going to give a very small, what do you say, um, approach or a small acronym that will help you, the 4 R's of your personal well-being. Imagine your house, which is all broken, your head, your body, all broken. There's all kachra here. Okay. If you want to make your body, if you want to make your car better, what do you want to do first? The first thing that you want to do is remove all the bad stuff that there is. Remove from your life. Second is all the stuff that have been broken, but they are good. Repair them so that you can make it better. Now, once you have removed all the kachra and repaired, then you start replenishing with things that you do not have. Okay, replenish it with good food, replenish it with good sleep. Okay, and once you have done this, once your body is all fine and good, then you rejuvenate, make it better. The first 3 is what you need to fix. The last one is what you need to improve. Okay, think about your house. First, you remove the kachra. Second, you remove all the basic important stuff. Sorry, repair all the basic important stuff. Third is replenish anything that is missing that you need, not what you want. And finally, you rejuvenate by making it look better. And this is where you think about getting all the stuff that you want. Okay. Now, the final step, mental health or so-called stress management. Now, why are we talking about mental health? Let's look at what just happened during this last 8-9 months. Okay, we've got fear. What's going to happen to us? We didn't have any control, and we didn't know with certainty what's going to happen next. Okay, we were not able to move. We were not able to connect with our friends. We were not able to connect with our loved ones. Okay, we were not able to do things that we liked. We are not able to connect with our friends and be connected, and we were not able to do things and be, feel competent with ourselves. All of this has really taken us down. Okay, and to add to that, there are this whole bunch of thoughts that keep on banging into our head. Okay, what do we do? Where do we go to help ourselves? There's so much of stress in our head. There's work stress, there's office stress, there are a whole bunch of stress that we have taken up on ourselves. How do we handle that? That is such a problem. To add to that, there are so many solutions around there. Okay, there are stuff to handle sadness, depression, worry, anxiety, panic attack. There are stuff related to positive psychology, flow, deliberate practice. There are techniques such as cold shower, breathing techniques, biofeedback, and of course, there are other stuff. Okay, religious scriptures that give you all set of nice gyan, which are really good. Okay, there are a whole bunch of meditation techniques. Where do I go? Help me out here. Where do I go? Okay, I have had, I had gone to Vipassana for 10 days, and there I met people, those who were coming to Vipassana multiple times, as though they were not able to find the solution. What was the challenge there? Okay, now this got us thinking, and then we figured out, let's look at our life in a very simplistic model. Again, let's take our car. So we are in our home, and we have to go to our office. Okay, this is where you are, this is where you want to be. And there are a whole bunch of roads that are available. Okay, now in this road, there's also a straight road, and there are all these curved roads. Okay, and the car is the resource that you have. The resource is your brain, okay, which is the hardware as well as the software. Software are your thoughts. Okay, and on the road, you have all these bumpers, blockages. There are other cars that are coming and hitting you. There are these abusive drivers. These are your challenges. Your thoughts, your feelings, your behavior. Okay, how do we handle that? Now, if you have seen when you're driving on the roads of Bangalore, that many of the drivers are very nice. They'll be driving the car, singing songs, and all good. People are shouting, and he's like, "Okay, nice and nice." It's going all good. And then there are drivers those are cursing, and you know that they are in a rage all the time. Okay, what's happening here? How can we learn from this analogy? Okay, if we were to use this analogy, okay, let's take this analogy of your car and you drive from your place where you are to the place where you want to be, okay, to think about your thought processes. Okay, where you are is right now where you are. Your values are anything related to your fitness, financial security, family, etc. Now, why we're talking about values? Usually when people talk about goals, they think about six-pack abs or investing or starting a business. These are all your goals to reach your end state. Tomorrow the goal is this, next day the goal will be another milestone, then there's going to be another milestone to reach your values. Okay, now when you want to reach these interim goals and finally to your values, okay, there will be all these thoughts jamming you, all these challenges. One of the techniques or one sort of techniques are your mindfulness based stress reduction, your meditation, etc. The first thing that they tell you is that acknowledge these challenges, these thoughts, these feelings, this behavior. Don't do anything. It's just like you're starting your car and there's going to be a whole bunch of thoughts coming in. You just don't do anything. You acknowledge, okay, guy, you have shouted at me, I have acknowledged you. Okay, driver XYZ, you have hit my car, I have acknowledged you. But I'm going to push forward. I'm not going to accept them. I'm not going to reject them. I'm just going to push forward. That is one technique, one set of stuff. Then there are other set of techniques which says, hey, there is this thought that comes and hits me all the time. There is this thought that does not hit me, but it's very abusive. So I'm going to talk to this thought. I'm going to challenge this thought. Are you right? Whatever you are saying, is it true now? Has it been true all the time? Are you right? If not, why are you still disturbing me? So you're challenging these thoughts. When you challenge some of these thoughts understand that they are wrong, they move away. Some of the thoughts, they understand that they are wrong, they try to hit, but they do not have so much of power. Okay, and then there are still thoughts that will still come and bug you, even after you have challenged them. This is where another set of technique comes in, saying the acceptance commitment therapy, which says that when you are walking up a mountain, your feet is going to get tired. Your bag is going to feel heavy. It's going to be very tiring. But that's the process that you have to go through to enjoy the beauty on the top of the mountain, when all of this will be worth it, where you accept the thoughts and move ahead. Now, what I am telling you is that we are not giving you a solution. We are opening to you a whole bunch of solutions that you can go and explore when you want to manage your stress. Okay. Now, again, many of us do not want to go to a therapy session saying that it's a therapy. Therapy means that something is broken. We do not always go to the gym because we are going to a therapy. We know that we are weak. We just need to get stronger. Similarly, we know that we are a little bit weak. We need to get stronger mentally. Or we know that our house in the head is full of garbage. We need to clean it up. We need to bring in somebody. I have laid open a whole bunch of stuff to you. It's up to you to take it and make your life better. Okay. Now, for all this stuff, you need some help. Okay. If you're able to do it yourself, nothing like it. The help can come from anyone. Now, I have been talking about all these movie stars. If following a movie star has been helping you, please go ahead. If following a guru is helping you, please go ahead. If not, rethink. Okay, that you need a coach. But why do we need a coach? We've got so much of information available on the net. Hey, we've got even apps available. Why do we need to go and get the coach? Well, first and foremost, if information is power, then most librarians would have six-pack abs and unimaginable wealth and happiness. It doesn't work like that. Because information is knowing and knowing is not doing. Doing is doing. You have to do the work. Okay, you need to know that what actions that you need to do. Why do you even need to do that action? How, when, where? Okay, all that stuff. And then, of course, sometimes, or for that matter, most of the time, accountability helps. Accountability is where you're accountable to someone. Now, this is a very interesting concept. Let me give you a scenario. Imagine, you must have seen that movie, Will Smith, where he is all alone in a place where there's nobody. He's got the food and everything. Or for that matter, there's this movie, Mars or something, where this guy is all alone. Imagine a life where there is no one around and you have everything at your disposal, but there is no one around. Okay, whatever food that you want, you get to eat it. Whatever dress that you want, you're going to get to eat it. Wherever you want to go, you get it. What do you think is going to happen? You're going to dress up nicely. And after that, why do I need to wear this dress, man? Just let it go. किसके लिए करना है? Today the food looks good. I'm not interested. I'll eat something. क्या करूँगा? I don't even have to take a picture in a selfie or Instagram. What will I do? There's no one to watch. And that's what I'm talking about, accountability. Now, in that state, if I bring even one person who interacts with you, suddenly your approach to everything is going to change. Hey, that person is there. Let me dress nicely. Hey, that person is coming. I should eat something better. Okay, that's where accountability comes in. Otherwise, we will just go bonkers. Okay, this reporting or at least interacting with somebody helps you course correct. And the best thing about coaches is that, okay, coaches versus apps is that an app will help you to take one place, but after that, you're going to get into a plateau. A coach, through its accountability, will help you to move ahead. When you plateau, when you are not able to move ahead, a coach will help. One of the best things or the worst thing is that we are our worst enemies. We talk trash to ourselves. And I just drank 2 glasses of, wine. I'm useless. Chuck it, man. मुझसे नहीं होगा. I'm the worst loser on this planet. या मैंने एक slice of pizza ज़्यादा खा लिया. मेरा सारा workout diet is gone for toss. I'm the worst loser. I do not have any motivation at all. I'm just the most indisciplined. That's where a coach comes in and says, you know what? Just chill, yaar. Just chill. Okay? You'll get around this. A coach helps. Of course, there are parents and friends available, but parents and friends may not be your best coaches. Let me give you an example. Just giving an example through a story. मम्मा आज मैंने बहुत ही कचरा खा लिया, मेरी तो एकदम जिंदगी बर्बाद गई. अरे बेटा कुछ नहीं हुआ बेटा, तू और थोड़ा सा खा ले. कुछ नहीं हुआ बेटा, तू और थोड़ा सा खा ले. ये दुनिया तो ऐसी रह जाएगी. तो कोई नहीं. Who is saying that you are fat? Who is saying that you are weak? That's your parenting style. और your friends, अरे यार एक ग्लास पिया है ना, और एक पी. अरे कोई टेंशन नहीं है, और एक पिया. 2 ही पिया है, तीसरा पी. A coach is not your parent. A coach is not your friend. A coach is a coach who wants to help you improve. He's going to say, hey, you have had 1 glass, that's it, enough. Don't do it again. Or else I'm going to whoop your ass. Okay? There are adjustments that the coach brings in. that you're not going to get from an app, that you're not going to get from your parents, that you may not get from your friends, or for that matter, even your parents also. You need somebody different. This is where your coach comes in. Okay, what kind of a coach do you want? Do you want a coach who is not experienced? For that matter, just let me give an example. Will you take your car and go to a celebrity or to a Guruji? Why? Because he may not have the experience. He may not be up to date, or for that matter, he might even have the opposite experience. You're taking a car to a guy who is an expert in Belgari races. You would not want to do that. Then why are you taking your body, your mind to these people? Instead, you will take your car to a guy who is intimately experienced with the cars, who have fixed cars and who are even certified to take your car. And then, of course, you will definitely want to take your car to the guy who keeps on improving his knowledge about those cars. Then why are you taking your cars to a guy who's inexperienced? So take your body and your mind to a person who is experienced in that field. Okay, do not be afraid. Go to a counselor, clean your head. Go to a certified trainer, get your body stronger. Go to your nutritionist, get your baseline nutrition for the whole family fixed. Okay, go to an experienced person who has a skin in the game. That's going to help you. Now, who are we to talk about all this stuff? Well, then we have been in that position. That's me and that's my wife, Sonali. We have used all these fundas that we have given you to train ourselves. We are certified, and to train some of our clients also, to change their mentality, saying that it's not about six-pack abs, but it's about having a good life now, later, good life for you and also your family. Okay, this is where we are. Now I'm stopping my conversations, open to questions. Any questions? Gaurav, any questions, guys?
Participants, you can unmute yourself and ask your questions. Otherwise, you can also put it in the chat box.
Yeah. No questions. Was it so bad? No questions. Okay. How much food plays a role? A lot. Usually what people think is that uh, it is only for your six-pack abs or for that matter, your strength, etc. But what people do not realize is that food impacts everything. Your skin, your hair, your brain. Inside the brain, your neurotransmitters, okay, your hormones, your literally everything. Now, if food is not there, your body is not going to move. You might have a Swift, which has a good fuel, and you might have a Ferrari with a bad fuel, which is going to move longer. A Swift with a good fuel, than a Ferrari with a bad fuel. That's the analogy that I can give. Okay. Does that answer your question, or is that something specific that you're looking for, Rahul?
Hey, thanks for explanation. So basically, I just wanted to understand when you say food is important or it plays an important role. But then generally, when we see, right, as you mentioned about keto and low fat or that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
many a times, like what I see is people are like more curious about composition of the food, how much carb, how
Correct.
much protein, how much XYZ is there in the food. So does that
Correct,
really do we really need to bother about that, or whatever we are
Yes,
eating
yes, yes.
from our childhood, should we consider, okay, that is a good, and need
Okay.
not bother about all the so-called carbs and all those things?
Okay, good, good, good. So since childhood, most of us, whatever we have been eating, has carbs in it, has proteins in it, has fat in it. Okay, that is one. So it's not that your food has to be special to have carbs in it. Your food has to be special to have proteins in it. Your food has to have, it has to be special to have certain fats in it. Whatever your parents, grandparents have been eating has everything. That's why the civilization has survived on that food. If any of these things would have been missing, okay, that particular civilization would not have even grown. Okay, they would have died because of lack of certain of these macronutrients that we are talking about. Okay, now having said that, okay, now having said that, as I said, whenever we are talking about food, the needs of a person, we need to take into consideration a whole bunch of factors. As I said, let me just go back to that slide itself. Okay, because what usually happens is it's a good question that you have asked. Okay, because usually what people say that, hey, you don't need so much of protein. You don't need so much of protein. You don't need protein for whom? Are you talking it from the perspective of a male or a female? Is that person a kid? A kid needs protein, yeah. An elder may not need so much of a protein as an adult. Okay, a sedentary guy need not need proteins as much protein as a professional athlete. Okay, proteins are needed. An endurance athlete needs more carbohydrates than a bodybuilder. So there is a change in the composition of food. Okay, so for example, in the house, everybody is eating roti, lots of dal and rajma and paneer, okay, which has predominantly protein. We in vegetarian, it's usually called that's the protein source, okay, and you have vegetables. Now, depending on the age and in the goal, say for example, the wife who is a little weak wants to build up a little bit of muscle. Okay, what do we do? The wife wants to increase muscles, so I'm gonna have the same food, but increase the paneer a little bit more. Okay, keep the chapati there. Okay, increase the veggies a little bit. Now, say for the husband who is on the little bit heavier side wants to lose weight, I'm going to reduce the quantity of this, reduce the portion and proportion a little bit to ensure the goal of that particular person is met. So yes, the protein composition matters. It matters keeping in view all of this, the demographic, the lifestyle, the goals. Extremely important. What are your goals? Okay, then comes your other stuff. Are you a South Indian? Are you a North Indian? I really do not want to force a person who likes South Indian food. नहीं sir, आपको तो quinoa खाना है, आपको kombucha ही पीना है, and you only have to have kale salad. Otherwise, आपका fat नहीं घटेगा. No, do not agree. People have lost fat in normal desi food, the food that you have grown up with. You just need to change your portions and proportions depending upon your goal. Does that answer your question, Rahul?
Yeah, Sujay. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Really explained well. Thank you.
Okay. Now, I think there was one question around, forgot, let me see, how do I?
How to judge a nutritionist when both have contradictory statements?
Good, good, good. This is a very important question, and this is where I get a little this thing. When a nutritionist is vilifying or demonizing a whole food group, that is a challenge. Okay, you have to start rethinking. When a nutritionist says that these are the food that are superfoods, start rethinking. Because across the globe, there are superfoods for Indians, there are superfoods for Japanese, there are superfoods for Spaniards. Who is right? Everybody has got their own theories and research papers to prove that they are superfoods. Okay, and then there are nutritionists who will say, do not eat wheat because wheat has got anti-nutrients. Okay, do not drink any or have any animal food because it's gonna kill you. Okay, do not eat that because it has this. Do not eat that, and they are totally removing a whole bunch of. They are creating hatred. They are creating a fear. You have to be a little bit careful about that. Okay, those nutrition you have to be careful. Number one. Second is if a nutritionist is pushing too many supplements, be a little bit careful about that because most of the supplements do not work. Okay, it is just a way to get, because people think that that magic trick. The definition of supplement is if something is deficient in your food, you add a supplement to get that in your food. Okay, a supplement does not improve your performance, it just gets your performance to the baseline level. An ergogenic aid is something that improves your performance. Unfortunately, most of them are in the banned substances group, and few of them, those are working. You may not have heard about it because people do not want to talk about it because it's not going to give them too much of money. Okay, so work around this. If somebody is spreading hatred and fear, be a little bit careful. If somebody is pushing too much of packaged product, this is my view. Again, this is my view. Okay, you can throw my view out of the window. Up to you. These are my views. Does that answer your question?
And see what works for you. At the end of the day, the diet should work for you and your family.
Exactly what works for you. So if you see adherence, so you go on a keto diet. If it's not going to work for you in the short term, or for the matter, it works for you in the short term, but in the long term, it's not going to work for you. You're going to bounce back, and that's not going to be pretty. Okay, you love your ghar ka khana, what your parents have raised you up with, but you know what? Some nutritionist said, "ये मराठी खाना छोड़ो रे, तुम वो North Indian लोगों का खाना खाओ, बहुत अच्छा रहेगा तुम everything." And you force yourself to eat that, it will work for you for the short term, and you will be so unhappy. Why do you want to do that? Make something that's going to work for you for the long term. That's going to make you happy. But again, when you make me happy, does not mean that you eat too much of chocolates, too much of ice creams, and all that stuff. Okay, what your great grandparents ate. Does that answer your question?
Swapnil? Okay, we'll move on to the next question.
Yeah.
Next question is vegan diet superior over vegetarian diet?
Oh wow. Oh my God. Oh, okay. Let me go here. You're able to see this images, right? Because I am. Do you know who this guy is? Anybody can guess? I doubt it. And do you know who this guy is? Okay, let me just give you an example. This guy's name is Rich Roll. He ran 5 Olympic Ironman, which is swim, bike, run. Okay, in 5 different islands of Hawaii and 5 consecutive days. And is a big proponent of vegan. I like this guy. Okay. And his thoughts were very much influenced by this guy. His name is T. Campbell. He wrote a book called Forks Over Knives. Okay, or the China Study. Sorry, the China Study. Yes.
China Study.
China Study. Yes. Okay. Excellent book. Excellent book. And people said, "Oh, this guy is awesome. Vegan diet is going to change your life." Awesome. Then comes this guy. Nobody knows who this guy is, and then there's this guy. This guy is Tim Iron Boy Wallace. Okay, he ran 50 Ironman in 50 consecutive days in 50 states of US, and he ate an hardcore carnivorous food. He's got six-pack abs that can even put this guy. Does that mean that the food that he was eating is good? And he follows this guy called Tim Noakes. Okay, Tim Noakes is a South African scientist, nutritionist, whatever we call him. He has published research, books, etc. He is considered a god in endurance running. He is just a scientist. Okay. You see this Netflix, there is Forks Over Knives and there is Magic Pill. Forks Over Knives, and right now there's this called What the Health, and there's Magic Pill. What the Health proposes vegan, Magic Pill proposes your paleo carnivorous diet. What the Health showcases a whole bunch of so-called evidences. All of them are false, but they put it very nicely. Magic Pill showcases a case that was put up against Tim Noakes by the South African Nutrition Society, saying, Tim Noakes, you made a statement where certain food is bad for the kids. We're going to sue you. Tim Noakes fought that case for 5 years and he won. Okay, and he won fair and square. And this Magic Pill movie was showcased, where it also showcased a whole bunch of evidences. Problem is, there are also some caveats. Where do we go? We are all challenged. Okay. Now, I did talk about this whole conundrum through a mathematical model. Okay. Let me explain it via a mathematical model. So imagine a universal set which has got different types of people with different eating habits. People, those who are non-vegetarian, people, those who are vegetarian, people, those who are vegan, people, those who are low fat, etc., etc. And you have these normal guys, those who eat good amount of, vegetables, good amount of grain-based, food, a little bit of meat, etc. Okay, desi folks like us. Okay, now what usually happens is, if I think of all this in a flat, this thing, somebody may improve their food in the x-axis, in one different plane that they're improving, and somebody is eating the same food, but they are eating junk. Somebody who is eating vegan can eat good vegan food, and somebody who is eating vegan can eat really bad vegan food. Somebody who is eating, paleo food can be eating good, can be bad. But what usually comes out is that, have you ever seen in magazines where they say, hey, this sportsman improved just by improving his normal diet? You will not see that. But what you will see is that, hey, Kohli became vegan, that's why he improved. But nobody talks about what Dhoni ate when he was a champion. Nobody talks about what Gavaskar or Kapil Dev, or for that matter, Dada, okay, they were eating. Nobody talks about that. Why? It's not cool. Okay, nobody talks about how a certain diet has destroyed them. Nobody talks about it. So they said, okay, because this is in the news, this is going to be improving. But there are a whole bunch of people, those who are eating their normal diet, and they have taken their performance to a very high level. Okay, it's just that either we do not have the data, or for that matter, we do not have the data of how many people have messed up by following a particular protocol, and that includes vegan diet. Does that answer your question? Any other question?
Yeah, this last part reminds me about the questions that I had asked in first 3 months of our training.
Okay.
I still remember. No, I'm just saying you have answered it very beautifully, Sujoy. I used to go to the shops click a pictures of the things that I wanted to buy, bottled jams, and I don't know, not jams, like sauces and everything, so
Ketchups,
that I
yeah.
can eat all that stuff. The only question, the only thing answer that came out is, can you please read the ingredients and try and understand what it is? The day I started all that, I got an answers on my own. Like, okay, this is what I need to be careful of, because no one prints all those very loudly onto the bottles, or in a big prints. It's like small written somewhere, and I think so. We don't look into it properly. The same thing happens as you said. There are a lot of unsung heroes, those who have been following all this normal diet and well balanced diet,
Yes,
and we forget to follow them because they are not published,
correct.
and we land up following people whom we should not follow sometimes, and that's the whole gimmick of marketing in today's world, and
Correct.
that's how the games are being played.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. If you cannot follow or adhere to a diet, if you do not enjoy a diet, if a diet hinders your social life, imagine I am driving from here till Ooty. I am hungry. I stop in a local. Hey, can I have a vegan chai and a vegan masala dosa and this thing? What do you think is going to happen? For that matter, can I have a low carb, high fat tea, or a low carb, high fat dosa, or a low carb, high fat idli? What do you think is going to happen? If a diet hinders your social life, or for that matter, if a diet hurts you, okay, leave that diet. Okay, there is nothing wrong about vegetarian food if you eat it rightly. It has magic if you eat it rightly.
Yeah.
I am a non-vegetarian though, but we eat lots of vegetarian. Any questions? Any other questions, folks? I think we are just on the time.
Yeah.
Gaurav, Narayan.
Any other questions? We have 1 minute. If any question, please ask. We can call off for this session.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for listening patiently.
Thank you. Thank you, Sujoy. Thank you, Sonali. Thank
Bye.
you,
Thank you,
National team,
guys.
for giving us this
Thank
opportunity.
you.
And thank you, all of you, for joining. And it
I
was
was
wonderful.
ex- I was
Have a nice
expecting
evening.
more questions from the females, but I don't think so. The females and the participants are very active.
ठीक है guys, चलो, take care, have fun.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Have a nice evening. Bye.
Bye.